Hi, welcome to the channel today. We're going to be going today over the tomato transplants. I am trying to harden them off. We are going to get some really cold temperatures. I think they're saying mid 20s now. They were saying down to 22, and that's later in this week. So what I'm doing is having to pot up some of mine because they're just getting, pretty leggy. The mix I had was pretty nutrient dense, and the problem you get with that sometimes, if they don't get enough light, that it will grow. You get really tall plants that are tall and lanky, and start shading out some different ones because I also have different varieties there. So these are most of my determinant was over here. I did pull out my determinants and plant them over there. I'll show you here in a minute. And then these are my indeterminates. And like I say, some of these are really tall. Some of these are really, that's a nice vigorous plant. But if you notice, put out first leaf here, second leaf here, they're just getting real lanky. So I'm trying to, if I can take the ones I was going to plant and have leave the extras there, I think I'll be okay. So what I'm trying to do is open these things up. Like these plants here will now get more sunlight and all that. So that'll be better, because when there's all these plants growing around them, they were the smaller plants that wasn't getting the sunlight. It might have been a couple of days before they bloom, before they germinated. So that kind of put them at a disadvantage. Or there may be a variety that just doesn't grow as tall. I know I had one in here that turned out to be this in here, well, I thought it was, and I got one seed as tall. The Carolina Dusk, these were small, short ones, had one tall one. So I don't know. Over here, I will show you, this is one that was a volunteer. It turned out to be a coyote, and it is starting to make some tomatoes. That's just, the yellow ones as big as they get. Here's some more it's putting on, so it's looking good. I am putting it back in the garage when we get a chance of any cold weather, a cold snap hitting. Over here is the ones that I potted up. Some of them I did separate. You had two in them, but they look a lot better than they did yesterday, and those came from that other spot. And these are the Invincibles and Shelby and Hossinators and Homestead Roadsters. That was all those, and I'll see like this in here is really leaned over better. I think it was one I might have separated out. I'm gonna see if it popped back up, because this in here wasn't looking that great yesterday either. This is one I did, it was extra when I peeled it out. It had two growing in it, and I pulled it out, so its roots are going to be a little bit low. I do have them in the sun. I think I've hardened them off enough that the sun's not going to hurt them, so I'm going to leave them in the sun. My biggest fear is my stupid dogs knocking them over, which could happen. And then over here, these are some of the other ones that I've got. These are the cherry tomatoes, and also got some of my, but even my dwarf tomatoes, you see, they're getting kind of tall too. They're stubbier, so they're not a real problem, but I need to kind of pull them up too. But that's kind of why you don't want to put, and I left some space between these two. I left, I think, three. I have 3 cells between them, so these will not shade out those, because these are dwarfs and aren't going to talk. They grow about half the size, and that's about what they've done here. And then even the lettuce I grew upside of it, I did let some had some space there, and some of the lettuce I have planted, and I need to plant the rest of it. But anyway, that's kind of how that's come out. And then here's my loquats. They're looking really good. I'm going to have to pull them in again probably tomorrow, because it's supposed to get really cold Wednesday night, and I'm going to be out of town. Well, it's just supposed to be really cold. I think it's supposed to get really cold Tuesday, like high of 40. So, do you want to go out in 60-degree weather and put yourself in the garage, or you want to do it in 40-degree weather? I don't think it hurts that bad. 2 or 3 days in the garage is not going to hurt these plants. I do have these over here. My wife's supposed to, this looked really pretty the other day. I told her to harvest it, and as you see, she hasn't yet. Told her yesterday to harvest it. So, I don't know if it ever get harvested or not. And then, like I said, this one over here is growing. And there's one thing you do want to do when you do a garden. You want it to be close so you can walk out the door and collect and harvest the fruit. You don't have to go, like my main garden is, I go through 3 gates or 2 gates, I guess now, to get to the garden. It takes a while to get there. It's out of sight, out of mind. These are right outside the door. So they should be easy to harvest before they get to this stage here. Should be. But anyway, that's a different story. But anyway, really not a whole lot has changed. We are going to be gearing up to put all this stuff back in the garage again. The guavas, I won't put it back in. The carrots are looking really well, looking really good. Pull one up. That's a nice carrot. So, and I just pulled that out at random. Do got a garlic growing there. Got a nice looking garlic over here. And these are elephant garlics that I planted. Could not find any, but I had some from last year I planted. Got one here, and a really nice one there. So, anyway, that's kind of it for right now. Nothing really has changed a whole lot from the last video, so I'm not going to show everything. And like I say, we're going to be getting ready because these here got to go in because they're doing that flush of growth like that. They're not going to have any winter protection. So even if it just gets down in the upper 20s, they could cause damage on these small citrus. Because citrus, any of your trees, once they break dormancy, they lose their cold dormancy. So, if this was happening in, a month ago, might be able to leave these out. I wouldn't because I've spent too much money and I don't want, it's too easy to throw them in the garage. But it does make a problem with these others. I do want to do some more, but I've only got 2 sets of lights up right now. I can set up a 3rd set of lights, but if I put another one up, I got 4 sets of plants, 3 sets of lights, and then you have to start, okay, I'll put one on it, I'll run some of them all night long and just switch them out. It's complicated. But like today, they're all outside. I'm going to leave them outside all day. Hopefully they won't get burned, but I don't think they will. And but that way, when it does warm up, I'll be able to go out and plant them and get them out of the house and get them out, to where they can start growing because, summer's coming. Don't feel like it today, but it's coming. So you always got to keep that in the back of your mind. I know some people say, well, you planted them too early. On my tomatoes, it really not planted too early. Is my mix was a little bit too strong, so it made them gangly. Plus, some years we planted them this weekend. So that would have been fine. They're a little bit gangly, but they would have been okay to plant outside. But, that's part of Southeast Texas. You just don't know. And I anticipate having to cover them at least once for a frost. But when you start getting down in the mid-20s, it's going to wipe them out no matter what. So I think. I've tried throwing buckets over them. That didn't work. Tried throwing boxes. Now, one year I think it did get in the 28, and I had the fabric covers over them. I had boxes. I had I put some under boxes, some under the buckets, and I threw a fabric tarp over top of that, and that did work that one time. But you're as many tomato plants as I'm going to have to plant this year, I really can't take a chance of losing them. So I haven't planted the next tray. I probably won't. I'll roll the dice, and hey, in 3.5 weeks I can get some tomato plants up apparently. So anyway, thanks for watching. I guess one last thing. These bloomed earlier this year, and actually that set fruit, and then the fruit died. They quit blooming, but they have bloomed again. So if you got blueberries and they bloom early in December and they lose all the blooms, they do seem to go ahead and have enough blooms in them to bloom later. So this did bloom a second time, and I thought it done used up all its blooms, but it still got some blooms now. Not that great, the fact it's this cold, but at least it's got some blooms on it. They will be taken in this time back in the garden, so they hopefully won't lose the crop. They could handle, I think they could handle the cold fine. Blueberries are pretty cold tolerant. But anyway, before I talk too long, thanks for watching. And let's camera get over here and see you next time. Bye.